All right. Thanks for joining me here for another episode. We're going to be talking about a very interesting time in my life that some of you may be very interested to know about. I left off on the last one about whenever I bought the All I Have to Give single by the Backstreet Boys, and how I stated that I would spend many hours just sitting there singing in my bedroom. I remember hooking up my microphone into this little PV guitar amp I had, and I would just sing along with the CD, and oh man, loved that jam. And about this time, I decided that I would like to be a pop singer, and maybe a R&B boy band, somewhere around those lines. And I remember my uncle at the time lived up on Main Street in Whitehall, my hometown. And so me and a buddy of mine at the time, Derek, he dug the stuff too. And so we started listening to some like NSYNC and other Backstreet Boys songs. We decided one Friday evening, or it was a Saturday evening, that we were going to, take the equipment out on the front porch and put on a show for the drivers, the people driving by. And so a lot of people in my hometown, I said it's a small town, less than 3,000 people. There's an infamous route. I don't know if they still drive it to this day, but it was definitely a big thing whenever I got my license, and prior to that. It's called the cruise route, and it was a specific route that you drove around town, and that's what we did. And so a lot of people were driving the cruise route at the time, a lot of high school kids and stuff. We got out there and put on a show for the people driving by. We got some people honking their horns, some people walking their kids, on the sidewalks. They probably thought we was crazy, probably wondering what in the hell was going on. And I still remember it like yesterday. This tan van kept driving by, and they would holler different things at us and holler this, holler that. It wasn't anything bad. Like, they were like, woo! Or whatever, just like making audible noises, not like hollering actual phrases like, you guys suck, which I mean, we had some cojones at the time to be doing that. I was nervous, but like I said, that van that was driving by, I remember at one point they were heading past us again for like the 7th or 8th time. This girl is like from her waist up was hanging out of the passenger seat, and she was like hollering at us. We waved, and then she flashed us. So hopefully nobody that's listening to this is too young to know what that is. So, but yeah, opened my eyes a little bit there. Woo! And I just burnt my lip on this coffee. My goodness. Tell you what. Okay. I never noticed until I started doing this how much I say I tell you what. I say that a lot. It could be my catchphrase. I might have to be a pro wrestler now that I got my own catchphrase. I tell you what. That's right. Okay, so after that, performing up on Main Street on the porch, there was another time. It was for the basketball team. We were raising money for the summer league, I believe. And this is right around that same time frame. And we would collecting money for the summer league, and we all had different shifts to stand out up at the four-way stop in my hometown and collect money if we could for people to give that was giving donations to the basketball team. And during my shift, I remember I had my Discman. This is at the time. Some of you may not even know what a Discman, Walkman is. It's like a CD player you can put in your pocket and hook some headphones into. And none of this Bluetooth stuff, just straight plug in and rock and roll with it. But I remember I was listening to the Backstreet Boys' first CD at the time, and my favorite song at that moment, I remember because I would sing it to the people that would roll down their windows and give us money. And funny enough, the song was called Bad Boy. Oh man, I can only imagine what them older ladies pulling up there to give us a couple dollars. Thought whenever they saw me coming up singing, if you wanted to be good, girl, get yourself a bad boy. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Oh goodness. Okay. I remember like it was. I never got any weird looks. I got a rise out of a lot of people. A lot of people had smiles on their faces. So that was another instance that put it in my head that entertaining makes people happy. So that's all I want to do in this world is just make people happy, and be happy while I'm doing it. Oh, goodness. Oh, man. Okay, yeah. I keep picturing like putting myself in these passerbys' cars, with me coming up singing to them. Oh, man. If you're listening to this, or if you know somebody that was a victim of that, tell them I'm sorry or you're welcome. Oh, man. Oh, man, I'm gonna start laughing so hard I'm gonna start crying. Shoot, now I don't even know where I'm at in the story. Okay, let me think. Not even 6 minutes into this dang thing, and I'm already. This is the most unprofessional podcast you probably ever heard in your life. But that's all right. You're here and I'm here, and we're having a good time. I hope you're having a good time, because if you can't tell, I am. I got the Anderson Cooper giggles. Oh my gosh! Now I'm going to stay here and start messing up talking and crack myself up even more. Just on a side note, if you don't know what the Anderson Cooper giggles are, just like go on YouTube and type in Anderson Cooper laughing, and it's still to this day one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Anderson Cooper is he has his own show on CNN. He's a broadcaster, and he got himself cracking up on his show, and it was pretty great. So I'm going to take a sip of this coffee here and calm myself down so I can get on with this story. Okay. And it was about this time, I was still doing performances randomly at the nursing home. At this time, not singing Elvis and Diamond Rio and Blackhawk songs. I was singing Backstreet Boys and NSYNC songs. So I decided in 8th grade to join the choir. I hated singing in front of people, especially like organized singing, like chorus, choir class. Oh my gosh. Still to this day is not my favorite thing to do. Just because you got to do it so perfectly. There's no freedom in it. It's just do it and do it good. But I couldn't do it good at all. But thankfully, there was this guy, Ryan Carlson, was in the same grade. He was always like very did a lot of like the plays and choir stuff. Very outgoing dude, good dude, super talented. He was like the guy in choir. I mean, even all the way through like high school and stuff, he was the guy. I mean, he led it for all the guys. And then I talked to a buddy of mine at the time, was both into like Nintendo 64 and stuff like that, and was hanging out, playing wrestling games, WWF No Mercy. Heck yeah. And his name was Aaron Plackett. His father was also a singer, and I believe his uncle as well. Aaron, oh man. I tell you what, even to this day, he still posts stuff on Facebook. Super great singer. I mean, he was one of the first like peers, like people that I knew that sang that was my age. Him and Ryan, I really looked up to because of their talent and their confidence. Just such good singers. And so with Aaron and Ryan both in choir, I just pretty much had to lip sing, and Eric Chapman joined in, and Zach Herder as well. We were the guys in chorus. And there's also this guy, Nick Mast. I want to, on a side note, give Nick a quick shout out. He's had a very successful career after moving out of the hometown area. He was from Hillview and has a very successful career. He has been on with the Carnival Cruise Line, one of their, I think their top act for a couple years or more now. Had a little documentary made about him and stuff. Super talented dude, and super, super happy for him. I mean, he deserves everything in the world. He's super talented, and it's just a great dude. But anyways, the people in my age group in 8th grade there was me, Aaron, Ryan, Zach, and Eric. And so I'm taking some deep breaths today because I can't. My allergies are crazy today. Woo! Okay, anyways, you're not my doctor, so you really don't need to know that, right? Probably don't give two craps about it. Anyways, let's see here. Oh yeah, so we decided that I talked them into maybe learning a couple boy band songs, and they were down for it. We had a couple practices. I think the song that we first one we chose to do was BB Max, Back Here Baby. Do you guys remember that old jam, that baby set me free from this misery, I can't take it no more? Yeah, so still a good jam. believe it's in the key of C. Anyways, so we learned that song, and I was like, we should just start a boy band. And so we're off to the races with it. And a very pivotal figure in all this, I want to be sure to state this before I forget, is Kathy Brockman. She was a choir teacher. She believed in all of our talent and has always been a big supporter of mine all the way through, after high school and everything. Yeah, she allowed us to use the choir time to practice our 3 songs for the spring concert or fall concert. I think it was one of the two. She helped us get the sound equipment, wireless mics, the whole 9, so we could be legit. And so Kathy, thank you so much for being a huge component early on in my career. She was amazing person, very talented in herself, just a great person, just great person. Very positive as well. Always loved that about her. And so we started practicing these 3 songs. I believe we did Back Here. I know we did 2 songs. Back Here by BBMak and Bye 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 by NSYNC at this thing. I got the video somewhere. I'll throw it up on Instagram or something. It'd be hilarious. I haven't watched it in some years now. And but to choreograph the dances, we would use the choir time morning, like whenever we had study hall and lunch. We were allowed to go to the choir room or the gym or wherever there was an open space to go practice and choreograph our songs. We stole some of the dance moves, obviously, like some of the more notable dance moves, like from Bye Bye Bye. Everybody knows that with the hand. So yeah, we did that and ended up singing at the concert, the chorus concert. We did our little segment of the two songs, and it was a blast. I remember the energy rush and the nerves going into that. Oh my goodness! I remember on Back Here we had whenever we did Back Here by BBMak, Kathy Brockman got us some stools to set on, so we looked like the boy bands did at the time where they were on MTV up there singing their love songs on the stools, and man, we thought we were it. So anyways, we did that, and it went over really well. Everybody was buzzing about it. When are you guys gonna do something again? Are you guys gonna do something again? So we decided, hey, we need to get a name. We decided we would try to come up with a name that represented all of our names. So the first incarnation of the group name was Sears with a Z. That stood for Scott, Eric, Aaron, Ryan, and Zach. We were Sears. Come and get all your appliances and we will deliver and install. But after a couple bus rides, basketball games and stuff like that, we all decided that we would not use the name Sears. And I remember scratching on my notebook on the way back from one of the basketball games. I wrote out all of our names in vertical order. I tried to pick out letters to spell words from each of our names and came up with the name Tone C with a little asterisk at the end because, hell, why not? And so we were off to the races with that. Mrs. Brockman decided that she would go to bat for us with the school to see if we could carve out a little bit of time to put on a show for the whole school. That was 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Mrs. Carlson, Ryan's mom, happened to be the principal, and a dang good one at that. And Cindy Carlson, oh man, she was a phenomenal person. She is a phenomenal person. I mean, she's doing amazing things now. Cindy Rice, a lot of you guys know her now. She's doing all the plays at the local high school there at North Green High School, and just a phenomenal person and just so supportive. I mean, to have all them kids, she always spoke to you like just as a person, and I learned a lot from her as well, just how to treat people and just to treat them good and be fair and be honest and be transparent. Yeah, so I always tell her how grateful I am of her every time I see her if I can. So Kathy talked to her and got it all set up, and we had the first 2 hours of school to set up our own show and perform it for the whole school. Picked out all these songs by Backstreet Boys and NSYNC to do. We had the karaoke version, so we could sing our own vocals on them, and it was awesome. Like I said, we used like our lunchtime, morning time, recess, choir time, anytime we could to perfect our dance moves and songs and just to get it all down. And I remember it was the day before the show, and I was so excited. I know all the guys were, but I was so excited. This was my first chance to do something super. This was the biggest thing I'd ever done at the time. All of us. I woke up that morning and I was just I couldn't talk. I think it was the only time I ever had laryngitis and I had the sinus infection. I was just oh my gosh, talk about freaking out. And I remember being almost in tears, calling the other guys and letting them know, hey, I can't be there today. I'm super sick and I'm super sorry. It was the biggest letdown of my life. So they figured, the guys rallied together. And the big thing was we all wore Hawaiian shirts. That was kind of our thing, so we'd all kind of be matching, but wearing different Hawaiian shirts. And give credit to Mr. Ryan Carlson for that. He was the king of the Hawaiian shirts back in the day. Loved it. And I think I still got one of mine, the one I wore in the video. Put that in my Hall of Fame one of these days. Put it in my closet of fame. Oh, yeah. But anyways, I was sick and couldn't do the big show, our only big one. And thankfully, Zach Herder stepped up and did my vocals for me, and I heard that the show went off really well. Everybody missed me, but it went off really well, they said. And I was praying for those guys. I'm like, I know they can do it. And because I had a lot of the lead parts, and Zach hadn't really practiced them, but I guess that morning they got there early and practiced, and Zach came through big time. Zach and Eric Chapman also stole a couple, or I think he sang a couple of the songs as well, so they kind of split them up between the two, because that would have been a lot of lyrics to learn super quick. I mean, I know they probably knew them a little bit, but to be put on the spot like that, I'm sure they weren't anticipating have to do that going in. And Aaron and Ryan are always big supporters of that, always good leaders and stuff of handling things and having good direction and being quick about things. So they did the show, and I remember coming back and to school a couple days later and just hearing about the show and how cool it was, and people asked me why I wasn't there, blah, 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 blah. And Mrs. Brockman said, I know you missed the show, but I really know how important it was to you. I talked to the principal, and we're going to give you guys another shot in a couple weeks. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to do it again. Or get to do it, not again. I don't want to get sick again, I'll tell you that. And so I did everything I could to not get sick. I stayed in. I exercised a little bit and just practiced. Didn't overuse my voice. We practiced still at school. We got to perfect even more the songs and the dances. And woke up that morning. It was the day of the show. And my grandma, she was the one that recorded, my grandma Beverly Ferris, Beverly Sue. She came and sat right in the middle of the crowd and recorded the whole thing with her video camera. And that was so awesome for her to be able to capture that moment for me to still enjoy to this day. And for all the people that have it. So I remember the first song we did was Everybody, Backstreet's Back. That song, Everybody, yeah. But it was Tone C's back, all right. And so that's what we did, I remember starting it out, and with the way the gym was set up, there was two doors at each end, and Aaron was out in the middle of the basketball court with all the school setting on one side of the building. It was crazy. And him singing the beginning, that everybody, yeah, rock your body, yeah. And then whenever the Tone C's back part, or Backstreet's back part, hits, the other four of us, me, Zach, Eric, and Ryan, would shoot out of each side and come out and start the dance routine. Boom, we were off to the races. And it was a great, great show, and we had a great time. I tell you, I still remember the vibe, just the feeling that lit the spark in me to continue on and just pursue this for my life. And it was amazing, and people still ask me about it to this day or bring it up. I'll see a post on Facebook every once in a while randomly. And yeah, it was even talked about at our graduation in high school. So that was pretty cool. But it ended shortly after that. We all kind of grew up and decided, we're probably not going to do the boy band thing anymore. But it was a great, great moment and a great ride for all of us, and all of the people that loved what we did and were a part of it and gave us the support to do it was amazing. It was an amazing, amazing feeling to do that. Yeah. So that's the story of Tone C. And we're going to pick up on the next episode with, I believe, what happened after that. That was whenever me and my cousin really, really got into writing songs. Then I started a rock band called The Big City.